Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories. 82 freed Chibok girls are received by the president at the villa. Their names and other details are released as well. The president is off to London for medical follow-up. Transmits letter to the National Assembly for the VP to take charge. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority threatens to prosecute passengers who attack airline officials at the airport. And Emmanuel Macron wins French presidential election. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our websites channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on any mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com to do so. Or you can download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the iWitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app and tap and swipe to reveal the iWitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that you sent into our iWitness portal. We begin with this one. It's the image of a flooded Festac extension, Mile 2 in Lagos State. iWitness reporter says this has been this way since Friday, May 5th, and wants the authorities to create proper drainage so that this situation will not recur. We're still in Lagos. In our second photo, we are in Tinkan Seaport Road. Our eyewitness reporters worried no attention is being paid as this area is the gateway to the economic backbone of the country. Next is this picture of an overloaded vehicle in Warri Delta State. Our eyewitness reporter says it is dangerous for motorists to be involved in this act. Is more worrisome is the fact that nothing seems to be done about it. A final picture is what our eyewitness reporter alleges is an abandoned road project at School Road in Ikotopene, Akwa Ibom State. The call is for the state government to urgently look into the issue. We appreciate the pictures. Please keep them coming. Staying with the Chibok girls release, the governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, says he salutes the president, the military, parents and the abducted girls on the negotiated freedom of the schoolgirls. According to him, the feat shows that the president is at work. In his words, I want to place on record our very profound gratitude to Mr. President for his sincerity in making the freedom of our daughters one of his top priority of the APC administration. The president has since proved his overriding commitment after the first set of girls were released. End of quote. For the military, Governor Shettima commended them and the multinational joint task force, including the volunteers that made it possible. Other stories now. All unruly and aggressive passengers who assault airline officials will henceforth face criminal charges. That warning is coming from the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, which has described the attacks on them as embarrassing and discourteous to such officials. The NCAA explained in a statement that the caution has become necessary because of several reports from some of the nation's airports detailing brutal attacks on airline officials. According to the statement, while the authority recognizes the rights of air travelers, passengers are not expected to take laws into their hands if and when there are operational hiccups. The statement says the authority expects aggrieved passengers to recourse to the platform provided by the NCAA to file their complaints and seek redress or compensation as the case may be. It adds that the NCAA will no longer allow any airline official to be ridiculed publicly or endangered. The commander Operation Delta Safe, Rear Admiral Apochi Sulaiman, has denied media reports that the task force has destroyed houses and property worth millions of naira in Ajapa community in Ondo State. Rear Admiral Sulaiman insists that the commander is working according to its mandates in guarding the Niger Delta region to protect oil and gas infrastructure, read the area of crude oil theft, militancy and kidnapping.
Truths on special operation repair a deliberate preemptive attack at the Japa community of Eseido local government of Ondo State. During the gun duel, the kingpin O.C. Ibori, a notorious criminal, was killed among his other gang members. During the operation, all identified militant camps, shrines, and hideouts used as safe haven were cleared. It is believed that these hideouts, safe havens, used as safe haven were where the criminals were taking their hostages or people kidnapped to go and keep and use for ask for ransom. They were all proceeds of criminality. Therefore, those areas that were identified as their safe haven were destroyed.
Staying in the region, the Delta State chapter of the National Union of Local Government Employees has threatened a strike over non-payment of workers' salaries. Issuing a 21-day ultimatum to the state government, the NULGE says it laments the plight of workers who are owed salaries from 8 to 12 months.
Local government autonomy has been on the front burner for a long time, and whether positively or negatively, the effects of lack of administrative and fiscal autonomy on the performance of the third tier of government will definitely be felt. Some concerned groups are of the view that without administrative and financial autonomy, it will be very difficult for the local government to carry out its constitutional mandates to the people at the grassroots, which also includes the payments of salaries and other welfare packages for local government workers in Delta State. In Delta State, a case study of the Oshimili South Local Government Council, local government staff are being owed salaries ranging from 8 months to 13 months, a situation the workers lament and cry over.
It is a fact, out of the 25 local government, only 3 is not being owed. The 23 out of 25 are owing salary. Here they are owing us 9 months.
Please, I'm pleading, they should help us, they should assist us, they should come to our rescue. They should pay us our arrears. The money they are owing us, they should clear it up.
While putting an end to claims that the state government is to blame for council's indebtedness to its workers, Secretary to the Delta State Association of Local Government, Chuks Obusom, says the situation in most states is not peculiar with Delta State.
When funds come in by way of allocation from the federal allocation, jack is convened between the local government and the state government, and after that, every penny that belongs to the local government is given out to them. And this has been a tradition, especially in this dispensation, Governor Okora's administration. So to a large extent, that's why you see that financial issues here in Delta State are no challenge to us, because we understand the powers of the state and at the same time the powers of the local government.
While stating that no meaningful development can take place in any nation that undermines the interest of those at the grassroots, the executive assistant to the Delta State Governor on orientation says salaries owed local government workers is attributed to their unique salary structure and large number of staff.
In Delta State, we have elected council chairmen, we have elected councillors. We're not on transition. Besides, to the best of my knowledge, in Delta State, the state government does not prefer with our funds. Are you with me? So if what is due us is being released to us by the state government through jack that we attend, so you find out that we are having some element of autonomy.
Despite these explanations, the Delta State chapter of the National Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE, in a press statement signed by its Executive Secretary, Peter Ene, had given the state government a 21-day ultimatum to pay up arrears of salaries, ranging from 8 to 13 months, or face industrial action.
The Pharmacists Council of Nigeria is leaving nothing to chance as it says it is working with relevant agencies and organs of government to prosecute and arrest patent medicine dealers who broke its seal during its last enforcement exercise in Enugu. The PCN Deputy Director Enforcement, Stephen Esumobi, explains that some of the premises do not have the right facilities in place to handle the categories of medicine stock. PCN had in April this year sealed off 264 illegal pharmacies and medicine stores for falling short of operational standards.
One of these premises was arrested because he was operating illegally. He refused to update his facilities to ensure that the storage of these drugs are in line with manufacturer specifications. Most of the drugs here have not met minimum requirements for safety, quality, and efficacy because of poor handling. If you look at most of the drugs here, they are stored at temperatures that are far at variance with the manufacturer's specifications. Another thing here is that many of the drugs here have very narrow margin of safety. What do I mean by this? The difference between the therapeutic dose and the toxic dose are very narrow. So these drugs need the supervision of pharmacists for them to be of benefit to the patients. These drugs, when they are not properly handled, they could be very harmful to those patients.
The controversy trailing the death of the first executive governor of Osun State, Isiaka Adeleke, has taken a new dimension as the family has rejected the coroner's inquest set up by the Osun State government. On May 2nd, the state government set up a coroner's inquest to determine the cause of death of Senator Isiaka Adeleke. Addressing newsmen in Edes, Osun State, a brother to the deceased, Dr. Deji Adeleke, said the family has resolved not to participate nor cooperate with the panel put together by the government. He wondered why the coroner's inquest was set up when the report of the autopsy ordered by the Adeleke family is yet to be delivered to the family. He says he's optimistic that the autopsy will finally be ready and be handed over to the family and not to anyone else.
The Adeleke family hereby denounces in its entirety the ill-advised and self-serving coroner's inquest ordered by the Osun State government, purportedly set up to determine the cause of death of our dearly beloved Senator Isiaka Adeleke CON. We are therefore compelled to reject the inquest with its predetermined outcome. We also urge the peace-loving people of Osun State to discountenance this kangaroo inquest into the death of our beloved Senator Isiaka Adeleke.
Regulatory authorities in aviation have been asked to honor concession agreements so as to move the industry forward in the country. The chairman by Courtney Aviation Services Limited, Mr. Wale Babalakin, made the appeal at an interactive session with journalists to mark the 10th anniversary of the Mursala Mohammed Airport 2, the first privately funded terminal in Nigeria. The occasion also featured special awards to those who have contributed to the growth of the terminal over the last 10 years.
It's been 10 years since the Mursala Mohammed Airport 2 terminal, Lagos, came into operations. And the management team, some clients and members of the press have come together to see how well the journey has panned out. The MMA2, according to the management, has in the last 10 years handled over 20 million passengers, 400,000 flights, and created employment opportunities for over 100,000 people.
This is significant because what started out as in a modest way has become the benchmark of how airport terminals should be run. This is the first successful PPP in Nigeria. MMA2 has changed the face of the aviation industry, leading to airlines and passengers demanding for better services from government-run airports.
In his speech, the chairman by Courtney Aviation Services Limited, Wale Babalakin, while appreciating all those who supported them in the journey so far, also called on the regulatory authorities to honor concessional agreements.
We call on the regulatory authorities to honor the concession agreement, which has been approved by every level of government, including the presidency, and confirmed by every strata of the courts in Nigeria. This is the only way to reward our pioneering efforts. We welcome the idea of concessioning as long as it is done properly and in accordance with the rule of law.
After an interactive session with journalists present, it was time to present awards to deserving clients who operate from the terminal.
You can see the bearings, the ambience of the environment. The passengers is what we are using it for, and that was what the passengers were asking us to do, and we got the market from there.
The MMA2 is the first privately funded, designed, built, operate and transfer terminal in Nigeria, and according to the management, has the capacity to facilitate 4 million passengers per annum with modern facilities and state-of-the-art equipment.
When the news at 10 returns, the land tussle crisis in Anambra escalates as one person allegedly dies in police custody. Do join us again.